Hey, what is going on, Fan Clan? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Danny. I don't know how to start videos, Phantump. Every single time it just feels awkward. I gotta find something that flows. Something that flows. You would think after 3 years I would be better at this. I'm still bad, but that's okay. I love you guys. What's up? What's going on? I hope you guys are doing well. It's a balmy -9 degrees here in Wisconsin. It's not great like anywhere in the United States, so I feel for you, whatever you're going through. But the Packers won. That was a shock. It's been a lot of fun. Everything is just like we're playing with house money right now as a Green Bay Packer fan. It's absolutely amazing. We're going to have a banger of a video, a slapping video today. A slapping video about Pokemon 151. We usually talk about Scarlet. I don't talk a lot about Japanese sets, but I want to talk about Pokemon 151. You probably saw the title, this idea of a hot take. And let me explain what that is, because I honestly and sincerely do respect your guys' opinions. So please comment on the video down below with what your opinion is on this somewhat hot take. So every once in a while, Pokemon introduces these new gimmicks, right? We've had gimmicks that have been released in the past. We've had A-Specs, which are coming back. We've had Prism Star cards. We've had Legend cards. We've had Prime cards, obviously, throughout the Wizards of the Coast era into Nintendo era. Then all of a sudden we had EX cards, and there's been a Legend card. There's been a bunch of different gimmicks. Well, one thing that Pokemon has introduced, and this was with Pokemon 151, not with Scarlet and Violet 151, was the idea of the Master Ball Reverse Holo. And there were so many people who were up in arms, upset about the fact that that Master Ball Reverse Holo did not carry over into the English printing. And I can understand why, right? Like, that is definitely the epitome of a true chase card. We've talked about limited releases before. We've talked about a numbering system in Pokemon cards. There's numbering systems in other cards. Like, there's a one-of-one ring card, right? That Magic the Gathering put out. You have sports cards that have numbering systems all over the place that let you know how rare a card is. And because of that, that really kind of embellishes the whole idea of a chase and what the chase is, because that's what drives a lot of people, and that really kind of introduces the gambling aspect and things like that. But that's a whole nother story for a different video, for a different day. Right now, we're just talking about the whole idea of gimmicks and this Master Ball gimmick that they introduced in Pokemon 151 that never made its way to Scarlet and Violet 151. Should Pokemon be doing stuff like the Master Ball release in future sets of Pokemon cards? Would that save Pokemon cards from where they are? Now, Pokemon is definitely not in a bad situation, but when you're an online store and you're looking at sales and things like that, like, you're buying product from distribution right now and you're basically turning it at a loss. Every store is basically doing that. Scarlet and Violet 151, the only set that's a little bit better than selling for a loss right now. It is rough out there for a lot of LGSs, a lot of in brick and mortar, a lot of, like, it's bad out there. Yeah, you have One Piece, but One Piece is just not, there's not enough out there in order to make the profit margin that you need, that you're losing on Pokemon. So it's really rough. So adding something like the 151 Reverse Holo, the Master Ball Reverse Holo, this gimmick really kind of exploded the price and the demand for Pokemon 151 product. It is very difficult to find Pokemon 151 booster boxes in Japan, and there's always rumors of reprints and things like that, and yeah, it wouldn't surprise anybody. However, when you look long term, the idea of one Reverse Holo that is a Master Ball being in each box really kind of solidifies the idea that this is the ultimate chase for a lot of people. And we're going to go through Pokemon 151, some of the cards that are in 151, and look at how these cards are performing, which is crazy. And then at the end of the slideshow, I do have a couple of tidbits of information that I wanted to share that I think are really important. So definitely stick around for the end of the video. But let me know in the comments section right now. Hit that pause button. Say, Fanny, you know what? Let me tell you something. I think that they should do something like this. We talked in a short earlier in the week about the Heart Gold, Soul Silver silhouette energies, those basic energies. Now, those energies were not included in every single pack. Heart Gold, Soul Silver did not have a basic energy card in every single pack, but it was a common card that was released, a basic energy card with a silhouette of a Pokemon and a location in the background of the energy card, which made it really cool to chase basic energy cards because there was something different, something that stood out. So should Pokemon be doing something like that in the future? And based off of the demand, my response is, yeah, probably. You get a lot more people interested. It really kind of pumps up the demand for the product. Now, I don't think it would have been a good idea to release something like that during the pandemic because the demand was already super high, but now that we have boxes and now that we have products that are selling basically below wholesale, maybe it wouldn't be such a bad idea to add in an ultimate chase. Now, it would make things very difficult in the hobby, and we don't know how the hobby would respond to it. It could be a bad situation. So there's a lot of stuff to consider. So let me know in the comment section down below what you think. I'm going to flip you guys around so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. We're looking at Pokedata. So we're gonna look at a slideshow that has pokedata.io. If you don't look at pokedata.io, that's another pricing system where you can go. You can base your collection off of it. It's a very, very good website for tracking prices based off of eBay sold. So you can look at PSA copies, you can look at raw copies, you can look at recent buy it now auctions, you can look at auctions with bids, things like that. But it graphs the system. It tells you a good idea of what cards are selling for on eBay. It's an excellent system. Highly recommend it. But it also includes a lot of Japanese products as well, which is great. This is just a snip of what the full master set is selling for when it comes to Pokemon 151, way higher than Scarlet and Violet 151. You've got Pokemon 151 Japanese Master Ball master set with the entire special art rares, all the special rare, all the art rare, complete 210 cards, $6,572 with 33 bids. Another one right before it, $6,305 with 74 bids. Another one before it, buy it now for $6,235. We don't have master sets of this caliber, of this price point. Now you have to remember, you only get one Master Ball per booster box, which makes these Master Balls extremely rare. So completing an ultimate master set like this is obviously very, very insane and lucrative. It's very difficult. It's going to be very expensive to put together. If we track the Pokemon 151 cards that have released, the majority of the most expensive cards in Pokemon 151 look nothing like what you see in Scarlet and Violet 151, right? You have the Charizard special illustration rare at the top, and then you have a bunch of special illustration rares after it, and then you go down to some illustration rares, a few full arts, and then you keep going down the path. You don't get to reverse holos until basically $1, $2, somewhere around that price point, because they don't have this little Master Ball here, this extra gimmick that Pokemon put in that really has increased the price point. So looking at the Pikachu, which is the most expensive card in Pokemon 151, a lot of people thought this card will go down in price, and it hasn't. Instead, it's actually rose in price, and now it's currently up to $454.67 for a reverse holo. Yes, this is a Master Ball. Yes, it's unique, but now you're looking at $454.67 because its pull rates are going to be absolutely insane. And again, we'll talk more about that at the end of the video, so make sure you stick around. This card did dip down to about $277.13. Now again, this is just going off of eBay sold listings, auctions, things like that, and this is just raw copies, so this is not including any PSA 9, PSA 10, any graded copies at all. But you can see starting to trend in the upward direction, and as booster box inventory gets reduced, you might even see these cards go up higher as people try and master Pokemon 151. It's absolutely insane. So this one did dip down to $277.13, but it's been steadily rising over the past couple months. Now it's a $450 card. Absolutely insane. If you look at the Erica's Invitation, this is the special art rare over in Japan. This is the second most expensive card in the set. When it comes to our set, Scarlet and Violet 151, a lot different, right? Obviously card quality is better. The cards look a little bit better, obviously, with the borders and things like that, but Erica's Invitation way higher in Japan than it is in the English counterpart, Scarlet and Violet 151. At one point in time, this was almost a $500 card. You can see when release happened, not too long after release, it was selling for about $496. Now, it has dropped quite a bit. As of December, it hit that 6-month low. It was down to $100.20. Now, it has rose back up a little bit. It's sitting at $147.50 currently. But again, booster boxes for this set, for Pokemon 151, are approaching that $200 mark and continuing to climb. It's very difficult to find a good deal on Pokemon 151, even more expensive than $200. It's crazy right now. Here's the Mew EX. This one was obviously included in our Ultra Premium collection. Japan pretty much just gets booster boxes. They don't get a whole lot of ancillary products like what we do in the English sets when a new set releases. Like, we'll get Paldean Fates, and then we'll get the sticker collection, we'll get the ETBs, we'll get mini tins, we'll get a lot of other stuff. They pretty much have to rely just on booster boxes. You can see in October for this card, it was selling at its 6-month high of $185, and then over the next 4 months or so, it's been steadily declining. In December, it hit that 6-month low of $113.20. It's gone back up a little bit, still sitting at $130.11. This is the third most expensive card in Pokemon 151. And then you get to the Charizard EX, the fourth most expensive card in Pokemon 151, and this is going to be very interesting after we finish up talking about this card. This card in August was sitting at $188.14. That was its 6-month high. It's been steadily going down, so a lot of the special art rares, they have started decreasing in price a little bit. You can find them cheaper, but it's the Master Balls that make things very difficult to try and master a set, because believe it or not, those pull rates are actually a lot more difficult than like this special art rare Charizard EX. And again, we'll talk about it at the end. This one did dip down to $109.44 at the beginning of January. It's come back a little bit, sitting at $115.13 currently. Again, these are just off of eBay solds, and then all of a sudden we start looking at Master Balls. That was the last I believe that was the last. We might have one other card that we're going to look at yet, but that was like the last, as far as the pricing goes. If we sort by most expensive, that was the last non-Master Ball card that we're going to look at. Everything else is a Master Ball, and everything else is selling for a decent amount. You can see this Erica's Invitation. This is just the trainer card. This is just the regular art Master Ball, selling for $96.04 currently. It's a little bit above its 6-month low, which it hit at the beginning of January. It was down to $80.50, but if you look at where it started out, it was at $131.50. That was at the beginning of October. It did start out a little bit lower than that and started climbing a little bit at the beginning of October. Now it's gone down, up and down all over the place, but for the most part, it's hovering right around $100 for basically reverse holo with that special Master Ball. Here's the Mewtwo right here, currently sitting at $85.50, a little bit higher than its 6-month low, which it hit in November. That was at $66. Its 6-month high was actually up to $129. That was at the end of August. But again, another card, another reverse holo that's selling for over $100. Currently, we have the Jolteon right here. This one is selling for $84.72. It's been steadily climbing ever since September. You can see at the beginning of September, that's when it hit its 6-month low of $45, and it's been steadily climbing since then. Now its high point, $84.72, is the highest it's been over the past 6 months, and continuing to head in the upward direction. Here's the Master Ball Eevee. I was surprised at how far this one did drop down. So this one, when you compare it to the Pikachu, because they both go hand in hand as just fan favorites, right? But you can see this card was selling for $100.20 back in August. It dipped down a little bit, went back up, then dipped back down, and you can see that 6-month low being hit at the beginning of September. That was when it was at $68.51. It did start climbing and got back up to about $90 in December, but now it's backed off a little bit. It's sitting at $83 and a penny currently. Here's the Dragonite, very cool looking card in reverse holo form with the Master Ball there. You can see its 6-month high was actually hit in December. It was at $85.75. It's only lost about $10. It's sitting at $75.78, but another card that has been actually gaining, steadily gaining over the past 5 months or so. September was when it hit its 6-month low. That was when it was down to $43.81, and a lot of these Master Balls are heading in the upper direction, which is very, very interesting. A lot different than what you see typically with set releases. Same can be said for the Flareon. It started out a little bit more expensive, but then dropped back down in September, hit that 6-month low of $43.50. It's been steadily climbing since then, all the way up to $100, which it hit in December. Now it backed off a little bit. It's sitting at $74.33, still well above its 6-month low. Here's the Psyduck. This one has done extremely well over the past 6 months. Came out of the gates right around $40, dropped down to $24.12 at the beginning of September, and it's done nothing but go up ever since then. It's sitting at $73.83 currently, which is just off of its 6-month high, which it hit at the beginning of the month. It's when it was at $76.25. We are going to look at one other illustration rare. This one I had to actually scroll down a little bit to find. There's a lot of Master Balls in between. You can go to pokedata.io and you can sign up for an account. You can look. It's a free account. This is not a paid advertisement, by the way. This is just me liking the system that they provide. But you can sign up for a free account and you can just look at the trends. It's very, very interesting to look at. Here's the Pikachu illustration rare. $30.23 was the high point of this at the beginning of August. It's been steadily dropping, like what we see from a lot of the other illustration rares, a lot of the special art rares. But one thing to remember is the pull rates on these are actually easier because there's less of them in the less variety of them. So even if you get one secret rare per box, like what we're looking at when we look at full arts, there's a lot less quantity of those full arts than there are of the Master Balls, and we'll talk about that in a second here. At the beginning of January, end of December, this one hit a 6-month low of $10.49. It's gained a little bit of that back. It's sitting at $13.82 currently. And here's the cheapest of the Master Ball reverses. So leftovers, the Master Ball, poor leftovers. This is the most affordable, most inexpensive of all the Master Balls. You can see it's still almost selling for $10. It's sitting at $8.98 currently. It hit its 6-month high at the end of December. It was up to $14.33. Its low point, which it hit at the beginning of January, was $7.50. So for the most part, you're looking at about $10 for this card. That's the cheapest of all the Master Balls. But here is the information that I think is very, very interesting. This is the most interesting information. There are 153 total Master Balls in this set. So 153 cards that are printed in reverse holo fashion and Master Ball fashion. If you were to buy all of these 153 Master Balls individually, just go onto eBay, just buy them by themselves, you're looking at $4,660.38 minimum to purchase all these, and that's just the Master Ball. That's why you were seeing over $6,000 for a full master set of Pokemon 151, because just the 153 153 Master Balls by themselves make up $4,660.38. Now, just by adding one of these unique cards per box and making the chase much more difficult, that means you have to open up a minimum of 153 boxes of Pokemon 151 in order to pull all of these Master Balls. Now, you would have to be the luckiest person on Earth to only open up 153 boxes of Pokemon 151 and pull every single Master Ball of each card, because you're going to pull duplicates, you're going to pull triplicates. Honestly, if you open up 150 boxes, you'll probably only get 75 to 100 unique Master Balls, and that's if you get really, really lucky. Like, you are not going 153 unique Master Balls for 153 boxes. But your pull rates then, since there's 20 packs per booster box, that means you're looking at a minimum of 1 out of every 3,000 packs on the best day. So that Pikachu Master Ball Reverse Holo has a minimum pull rate of 1 out of every 3,000 packs, which is insane. That makes it more rare than cards like Umbreon VMAX, than a lot of the alternate arts, and some of those cards that we're seeing that are, you know, $200, $300, $400 in modern day Pokemon. It's absolutely insane. So that Psyduck, that leftovers Master Ball that we were just looking at, that's only worth $10 right now, the pull rate on that is like 1 out of 3,000. Now, demand isn't going to be there. Demand isn't going to be as high for that leftovers Master Ball as the Umbreon VMAX. So I'm not saying by any means that should be worth that. I'm just saying, as far as rarity goes, just doing that little thing that Pokemon did by adding one Master Ball, one unique Master Ball per box, makes each of these cards, for collectors, 1 out of 3,000 packs minimum for a pull rate, which is absolutely insane. And that really kind of is driving the value for a lot of these cards. Now, I don't know if Pokemon is always going to be able to take advantage of something like that, but when you talk about what they did with Heart Gold, Soul Silver, with the silhouettes in the background of the energy card, or you talk about what they did with Pokemon 151, where they add the Master Ball Reverse Holo, they have a lot of different items that they could add into a Reverse Holo fashion, which would make them a little bit more unique. Now, is that something you think should be introduced into Pokemon moving forward, as far as Japanese releases, as far as English releases go, where things add to your master set? Now, a lot of collectors might be like, hold the phone, Fanny, I don't want to add another piece to the puzzle to master this set. And some collectors might be like, hey, yeah, Fanny, I definitely want that because that makes these cards more valuable. So it's a really catch-22 situation. I'm very curious to hear what your guys' thoughts are. I hope you enjoyed the comment or the content. I'm so bad at this. Please leave a comment down below with what you think. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Subscribe to Fanny. That is like the slogan of the, no, we've never said that before. Just subscribe to Fanny. Thanks a lot. Share the video. Hit that like button. You guys are awesome. I love you. Thank you so much for everything. I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Every day. Every day. Till next time. Peace.